Let's bring in my very dear friend and yours, Kira Davis, real Kira Davis on Twitter. She's editor-at-large at Red State and, of course, host of the great podcast, Just Listen to Yourself. I have this conversation about whether it's right for a police officer to intervene with deadly force in a knife fight. When it's not even a knife fight. One person had a knife. The other one was completely unarmed and was about to get stabbed.
Day.
Oh, thanks. It's my favorite planet by far.
Yes,
Kira, so what did LeBron James do here? It seemed to me like he used his social media account to kind of threaten this police officer in his own way, right?
Listen, we don't look to LeBron James for his searing intellectual commentary on culture. The guy plays basketball, and he has spent his whole life disciplining his body, but not his mind, which is obvious. And I think we get to this point where we see a lot of celebrities who say, hey, you know what, I have this huge platform. I should use it for good. You know, that's my responsibility as a public figure, as a celebrity. I have all these benefits. One of the things I should do is pick a cause and stand up for that. And I like that, and I get that. I think that's great. But sometimes what you see is what you got with LeBron, which is they use that platform for bad. And I think celebrities need to put just as much thought into how influential their platform is before they speak about another human being. Because these people don't live the celebrity lives that they live. Don't have private security and gated homes, and their kids don't go to private schools. They will live out the consequences of your very influential reaching out to them. So that's another thing celebrities need to think about. Yes, I should use my influence for X, but I should not use my influence for Y. I should recognize that my influence is outsized, and therefore what I say is not going to have the same effect as even people like you and me just talking about this. So, yeah. I guess what I'm saying, Larry, is I think LeBron James is not that smart of a guy. B, I think he got overwhelmed with the emotion of the situation, but because he's not that smart of a guy, he didn't know the details, so he just tweeted on emotion. And C, I think that guys like LeBron really need to stay in their lane when it comes to this stuff, and he owes that guy an apology.
To fill in everyone in case they didn't see what LeBron James did, your star player there at your Los Angeles Lakers, he used his social media account on Twitter to put out a picture of the police officer who was involved in this shooting that we've been discussing, and then put his picture out there and then just said, "You're next." And boy, that's I mean, there are some crazy people out there, Kira Davis, and
he should know.
Yeah.
He should know. LeBron James should know that there are crazy people out there. I'm sure he's encountered more than a few.
So now I don't disagree with you when you say, on the face of it, I do like the fact that somebody who has been blessed with the talent that LeBron James, and by the way, when I say that, I don't mean he doesn't work hard too, but he has been blessed with some things. I could work my butt off at basketball, but I'm not 6'9", okay? So there's just so much I can do. But at the same time, he does work his butt off. He's been blessed, and he also is richly rewarded. So he just decided, I want to use my platform to advance some ideas and to really help people. And he's decided that he wants to help African Americans. Well, I got to tag that idea, Kira, with a great article that you wrote over at Red State about some things about Planned Parenthood that have now finally, Planned Parenthood is acknowledging about their origins and about their founder, Margaret Sanger. If LeBron James really wanted to shake the planet and spend his celebrity to actually bring some attention to an important cause, how about all of those aborted babies over the last century?
Larry, LeBron doesn't know about the aborted babies. Do you know what I mean? Like, a guy like LeBron is not... That story I wrote about Planned Parenthood, by the way, finally admitting their racist roots. Crickets on that story. Me and a couple other people reported on it, but you're going to see that story on CNN? Absolutely not. You're going to hear about it on NPR? Right. Probably not. You know, he doesn't know. LeBron is not sitting there combing blogs and combing news stations all day long looking to get nuanced opinion. He's not listening to podcasts where people are breaking down the issues and having conversations. He's got an agent or an entourage in his ear telling him all of their uninformed opinions about what's going on, and he's forming his opinions on those things. He's reading a headline that comes across TikTok, you know? He's not informed. So wouldn't it shake up everything if LeBron were like, hey, stop killing black babies? Yeah, that would be amazing. But I have no doubt in my mind that LeBron doesn't even know that that's a problem. That the abortion industry has planted roots in the black community and has been murdering our political capital for 75 years. I'm sure he doesn't know that. I'm sure he doesn't know the nuances surrounding school choice or surrounding a qualified immunity or all of that. So this is why he probably should just stay out of it.
These are some of the fundamental concerns, though, Kira Davis, and in terms of a broader spectrum of issues that we as a society could be focusing on beyond just this one thing we've decided, that racist cops are trying to kill innocent, unarmed black people in our cities. And I think it's also enveloped in this particular story out of Columbus when we find out this 16-year-old was in foster care. You've seen her mother, who has made her way onto television. She looks like she was probably a child parent when she gave birth to this young woman. I mean, there's a whole lot involved here that led to this moment where this 16-year-old had a knife in her hand. And those are the harder conversations, aren't they?
Yeah, those are the harder conversations because you can't get clicks off of those conversations. You can't get views off of those conversations. Joy Reid is not – the day Joy Reid says, I want to have a nuanced conversation about how we solve the problem of violence in our black communities, broken families in our black communities, how that's affecting how we're raising children. The day she says that, she's fired. Her shtick has got to be Republicans evil, Democrats good, or it doesn't go on TV. Yeah. So there are difficult, even here on radio, we do as much as we can to have these conversations. But even, we have a limited platform. We have advertisers that we have to welcome onto the show. We have other news breaks. People need to know what the news is, the traffic, the weather. There's so many distractions in our formats that we use. It's hard to have these conversations. And because the left has politicized literally everything, I grieve, Larry, that I just believe we're at a place where it's almost impossible to have a mass conversation. Now, that doesn't mean these conversations can't happen closer to you, in your community. It's going to take some brave people to step up and make those things happen.
Finally, we're speaking with Kira Davis. She's editor-at-large at redstate.com and, of course, the host of her very own podcast, Just Listen to Yourself. Kira, I've seen in the last 48 hours after the verdict out of Minneapolis with Derek Chauvin convicted of murder, I've seen so many people saying, why hasn't Congress stepped up and done something about this? We've known that this is an atrocity. We should have had police reform the second after that video came out last year. Where's Congress on this? And, well, you actually have answered that question because there were some members of Congress that did try to do something about this last year.
Yes, a gentleman by the name of Senator Tim Scott, who is a black Republican senator, a sitting senator, and a man who's very well respected, actually, on both sides of the aisle, as far as his intellect and his genuine nature are concerned. He proposed this bill. Of course, the Democrats shot it down. Again, this is another story that's crickets, Larry, in the media, right? Because the Democrats shot it down because it dropped right before the election. And Pelosi did acknowledge that the bill existed at one point, and she did say, and she said the same thing about stimulus, we're not going to give Trump any wins, more or less is what she said. And so I wish more people knew that these people, they're playing games with us. They're playing games with our lives. They don't care. We could have had this stimulus bill a year ago, but they didn't want to give that win to Trump. They didn't care that you needed food on your table or that you had no child care for your kids. They didn't care. Everything they say is a lie. Everything that comes out of their mouth is disingenuous. They didn't care. They don't care about police reform. Do we think the Democrats really want to solve the issue of police violence in black communities and make sure that black communities are thriving as a part of the American dream? No.
Yeah.
What happens to the Democrat Party when they solve a problem?
That's right.
They're playing games with us, and I'm sick of it, people.
Yep.
I'm
I'm
sick
sick
of it.
of getting played too. What are you doing to celebrate Earth Day there over at the Davis household? You got big plans? You gonna have some kind of party? You got the punch bowl going? You got the fish bowl where all your neighbors are gonna come and put their car keys in it? What's happening there, Kira?
I am going to celebrate Earth Day today by breathing, and I'm going to walk around and enjoy gravity for a little while.
Oh.
And yeah, stuff like that.
That is a great idea. You know, breathe while you can, Kira Davis, because in a moment I'm going to let everyone here on KBC know exactly what Joe Biden's climate czar said today. He has a real problem with human beings breathing. That apparently is one of his solutions to helping climate change and saving the planet. Of course, we won't be around to enjoy it if we all hold our breath, but I'll share that with everyone in a moment. In the meantime, Kira Davis, it's always good to talk to you, my friend.
Thank you, Larry. I will talk to you next time, and enjoy your day on Earth.
I will. Your Lair Bear signing off. Thanks, Kira Davis.